The news is that I have about a month and a few days until the closing of the contest, and I've made no cuts in any wood except cutting a template made of MDF. So I'm a little bit stressed. So a brief recap, when you last saw me, we had cut out this template and it was a rough cut, so there was no refinement on the template whatsoever. I would say it's 90% of the way there, and there might be some changes that I make along the way, but I think I have to just jump in now and get involved in cutting wood and organising the build. So what I want to make sure that I'm doing is staying on task with, one, making a great guitar, but two, making it as simply as possible because I've got so little time now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a Fender neck template. Personally, I think that Fender necks are great. I love the bolt-on system. You can take the neck off, you can do fretwork, you can do refrets very easily, you can do polishing and stuff far more safely than when you have all of the parts glued together. In this case, what we're going to have is quite a large guitar body. It's going to have a lot of strange, awkward corners, and it's going to be semi-hollow, so it's also going to be quite fragile. I don't want to be gluing in a neck to a very fragile, awkwardly shaped guitar without the scope for it being repairable or having maintenance done on it in a very kind of careful way. And I think that Leo's design in that sense is such a great idea because you can travel with it on long journeys, you can move it from country to country slightly easier by just removing the neck, and it can be repaired. So with all of that in mind, I'm thinking in the future for other luthiers who might work on this guitar, or me myself, I would prefer it to be, you know, ticking those kind of boxes. The other thing is that it's going to have a lot of electronics in the guitar. So when we have something go wrong with the electronics, which is kind of inevitable, we'll be able to remove the neck, be able to access the area where the effects pedal is going to be, and it's just going to be a lot more pleasant. So with all of that being said, way more than I thought that I would say at the start of this day because I've got so much to do. Let's get cracking! Here's our body blank. I showed it to you before, but I'm going to go through it again. It's a whopping 13.7 pounds, which is very heavy. But luckily for us, it's going to be completely hollowed out. So what I need to do is plan that. I need to get the template down on the body. I also need to say, okay, I'm going to have a trunk sticking out over the edge. How am I going to attach that to the body? That's my major concern at this point. Okay, what I think I've decided to do, I've got my template drawn out here, a very fine line. I've also got my end piece here, that's going to be on the end there. End piece. I've never done a box joint before. I'm pretty sure it would be strong enough to hold with, you know, a brace inside, for example, but the theory is the theory. Okay, let's cut this. Okay, let's cut this. Okay, it worked, kind of. It's not the most elegant piece of woodworking that you'll ever see in your life, but for somebody who is with as little time to develop the idea as I have, I think it's going to work. And seeing as it's not a structural thing, it's just kind of like a wing of the guitar, I think we're going to be okay. Showing you where I am. So yes, it fits together, but there are a couple of gaps. Fill these gaps with more wood glue, tight bond of course, and I'm going to utilize the piles of dust that are around the, the,, the, 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 Okay, so for now we got away with it. It's gone together really well. It's solid so far. It's not under clamps yet. Next up is the neck, and I've got this amazing... Alexa thought I was talking to her. I'm not. Flame maple roasted. Flame maple. At least it's 5A. I wouldn't say that. Maybe it's not master grade, but maybe it is. It feels and sounds incredible. I'm kind of thinking I want to do a different kind of neck now. I was saying, oh, let's do the bolt on and blah 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 blah. Part of me wants to do a different kind of bolt on at least. I should just do a fender neck joint and bolts and stuff and just be like, that's a really great bolt on guitar. I kind of want to do something different. It's a new day. I just finished a record. Everything is happening. Let's have a quick recap. We've designed the shape, we've made the template, we've cut out the rough shape from the flamed walnut, we've looked at the options of the neck and how to join the neck to the body. We need to refine the shape of the body, we need to decide on the neck joint. Let's start with routing. One good thing about it is that it's a lot lighter now, and it's going to get a lot lighter. Here we are then. Hello B. We've just finished the routing, and even though I was fairly careful with my process, so it did tear out. I'm not bummed about it though, because as I was working I figured, you know what, it's going to be all carved into knots and so on, so I'll just turn those into knots and features, maybe epoxy fill them, maybe stain the inside. But look, it's looking great, isn't it? It's going to be a Jaguar scale length of 24, and I'm thinking more and more that what I'll do is inlay this whole thing and then recarve the corner here so that that becomes the neck. You can bolt it on from the back. The bridge will be attached here. I just have to work out what kind of bridge I'm going to put on it, and the fretboard will go on separately up to here. So I'll just route the truss rod to the center of this from here.
Well, he lives in my obsession, and he don't know where to go. He goes around and round for coins and gems.